Emma, thank you very, very much for coming. And it's going to be a pleasure, I'm sure, to talk about your lesson. Did you enjoy it as much as I did?
I did. I enjoyed seeing the children enjoying the learning,
Yeah.
which was important.
So, come on, tell me, how did you think it went? I mean, it seemed to fulfil what you wanted it to fulfil.
Well,
You
I
had
think,
an ambitious objective.
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew I was introducing something brand new to them, so I knew they would have zero understanding and that they'd never seen it before. So I knew that really what I needed to do was have them so confident about it by the end of the lesson that they could hit their target grades.
Yes.
And so I wanted to make that really clear to them at the beginning so they knew what they were aiming for and they knew what success was going to look like by the end of the lesson. And then to have them at the end exceeding their target grades or hitting their A stars was brilliant.
Yeah. So, do you often plan lessons like that? Is that the way you like to teach?
Yes, I've done training with other staff as well,
Yeah.
and I've often said, you know, that is my philosophy. Know where they're going to be at the beginning of that lesson through assessing previously or by introducing something brand new. Know where they're going to be and know where you want to take them by the end.
Yes.
Then you plan the journey in between.
And how had you'd planned that journey in a very particular way, hadn't you two? Is that often how you would like to work, in the way that you worked with those students?
Yes, absolutely.
Get them moving, get them looking at things.
Within the geography department, we have always said, when we rewrote our entire Key Stage 4, changed our syllabus and rewrote the whole thing, and we said every lesson, they have to get out of their chairs at least once. And so every lesson in geography, they get out of their chairs at least once.
Yes. Well, one of the things I wrote down was a palpable sense of excitement and interest. So even if they do that quite a lot, they were absolutely on board with that. They were interested, they were excited, and certainly you could hear from time to time just the sort of whole class response to something new being introduced. So the preparation was quite outstanding, I think.
Thank you.
And it really did then promote tremendous progress and achievement, outstanding progress and achievement. And I think what was one of the most important things that came through that lesson for me was in talking to the students, that they were able to articulate that that wasn't a particular lesson because we were here. It was something that they get day in, day out. And they were so clear about that.
We've worked so hard to make sure that our lessons are engaging, meaningful and exciting. You know, that's what we've tried to create, really.
And that's the daily diet, is it?
Yes, you know, yes, it is.
So if I turned up in the car park at 8:30 and I came in, that's what would happen, is it?
I think you would, yes.
Yeah. Well, they were very clear about that, and they certainly said what they said was that they learnt skills and that they were able to transfer them to other subjects, not only geography, which I thought was very, very
That's
interesting.
Right. They've said that to me before, actually,
Yeah.
about when they've done mock exams elsewhere, and they said, "Oh, we used our geography exam technique," and you know, I think it's because it is transferable. Using connectives, using vocabulary, can transfer to any subject
I
area.
think so, and perhaps even skills such as the analysis of disparate evidence to be able to make judgments.
Yes.
And I think they know they're doing that. And what outstanding students.
They are lovely. We're very lucky to have such lovely students,
Well,
I have to say.
and I think they get a very good deal from you. One of the things that I thought was a particular strength of your lesson is your technique of questioning. And again, I wrote down that you were fearless. You'll stick with a student, won't you? And you'll demand that they're not sloppy, that they use vocabulary,
That's right.
they've used vocabulary precisely. And I think that's why you are promoting the sorts of progress that you are, because you just don't let them get away with it, and you don't slide off them. You stick with them, actually drilling down, and they certainly respond, don't they?
Yes, they do. They expect that to happen, to be honest, and they will try and give a half-baked answer, but once you start drilling into them, then they start revealing their real thinking, and they're just amazing. So, you know,
So
I don't think you should accept the first off-the-cuff remark. Drill deeper.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, and I think it's also a testament to the relationship between you and your students. They feel comfortable with that. They actually accept that, and they work so well with you to get to those very, very high standards. I enjoyed looking at the books. I think they're at your assessment and they're working towards their targets, very precise. Tell me a little bit about Maddie, who target of a C, now working at A+. How's that, A star, sorry. How's that happened?
Well, she has an interest. I've grabbed her imagination. She has an interest.
Hardly surprising.
And she has worked really hard on her exam technique, and her target grade was the C. But her exam technique, she has now really got it, and now can answer exam questions at an A star. And obviously she's already done half her GCSE. She's done her controlled assessment task and one module. So she's already done half her GCSE, and it's an A star.
Yeah. So there is lots of evidence, isn't there, talking to your students that many of them will exceed what their original target grade was.
Yes.
And they're very anxious to do that, aren't they? But the books are tribute to them, aren't they? Good presentation, accurate presentation,
Yes.
and actually understand and engaging with your marking.
Yes.
With what you suggest they need to do, which is very well done. And again, I think you're very adept at checking what's happening in the lesson. You revisit learning objectives. You just check where they need to go. And the peer marking. How do you just keep an eye on that peer marking to say yes, they've got that right?
I know now, at this stage of Year 11, that they're experts, but we have trained them for 2 years to get there.
Yeah.
We start right at the beginning of Year 10, on a much lower level where I'm checking and much more involved myself. By this stage of Year 11, I know they're experts.
Right. Well done. Can I just say it was a real privilege to be in your lesson.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it, and what's more, I actually learnt quite a lot
Good.
about something that I didn't know about. So I shall think of Benidorm in new ways.
Yes.
So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, that's great.